Teaching 30. 1. In the teachings that I am delivering to you, I have called you the people of Israel, or the seed of Jacob. And to the extent that you continue to understand my lessons, you will have realized that spiritually you belong to the lineage of that ancient people, chosen from among the nations of the earth to fulfill the mission of transmitting my revelations to humanity. 2. The seed which I entrusted to Jacob is in the spirit and not in the material flesh, as men have falsely believed. For I say unto you that had the inheritance which the first patriarchs bequeathed to Israel been material, it would still be producing prophets, messengers, and enlightened men. Instead, you see that that nation carries with it the chains of material and spiritual misery, knowing that it can no longer await the coming of a Messiah. For it has understood that the one who was promised to them was in the midst of his people and was not recognized. 3. The spirit of Israel as a race is sleeping, a deep sleep which has lasted for centuries. It cannot look at the truth because it has lived only for the pleasures of the world, hoping to reach its promised land, its judgment, and its glory here on earth. But do not think that its sleep will be eternal. No, now that misery, suffering, and humiliation have been drunk by that people like a new chalice of bitterness, its spirit will begin to awaken, guiding itself through meditation, and discovering there that all prophecies and signs which announce the coming of the Messiah to it were faithfully fulfilled in Christ. 4. Its awakening in the most complete form is not far away. Its spiritual dawn is nearing. But before that it will contemplate human materialism being destroyed due to its ambitions, selfishness, and low passions. 5. When this nation becomes convinced that the kingdom of true peace and grace is not on earth, then it will seek Christ, the one who was renounced and rejected, and say to him, Master, you were right. Freedom can only be found in those who love spirituality, because those of us who have sought material riches have only become slaves. 6. When this confession arises to me from those hearts, I will have my new prophets appear among them, those who will help them become prepared in the path of spirituality, which will be their liberation. Do not find it strange that those who have been stationary in their evolution for centuries are able in a very short time to progress and cover the path which others who have preceded them have taken so long to pursue. These late ones may even surpass the early ones on the path. Do not forget that many of them have spirits which were sent to earth from the first times, and that once their restitution is completed, they will once again occupy their place among the elected of the Lord in order to carry the light to their brothers of all nations. 7. When those who carry the name of Israel because of their race, and those who represent Israel spiritually, find themselves on the same path, they will unite with one another. They will recognize that both form a part of that blessed seed which was born with the prophets, with the patriarchs of the first era, and was irrigated with the blood of the Redeemer in order to come to blossom in this area of light in which you are hearing me. Now you have me in spirit, though you sometimes doubt it, asking, how can I believe that the Master would communicate with us utilizing such an imperfect and humble means? But this is not the first time you have doubted my presence among you. In the second era men also said, how can the awaited Messiah be the son of a carpenter? 8. My children, you cannot penetrate my highest purposes. But now that I come to clarify to you the mysteries which you have not understood, open your minds and your hearts so that you might know the reason for many divine manifestations, to the extent that your Lord finds it appropriate to reveal them to you. 9. In the second era, when I was among my disciples or among the crowds who followed me, someone would ask me if I would perhaps return among you. I had no reason to keep this from them and declared to them that my return would occur in a time of great trials for humanity, which would be preceded by great events and turmoil in the different aspects of your life. 10. That promise which I made to you, I have fulfilled. For all of the preceding signs and the announced events have been fulfilled. Nevertheless, humanity, which is spiritually asleep, has allowed the signs of my presence among men to pass by unnoticed. 11. No one awaited me. I found your hearts cold, the lamp of love extinguished. You were sleeping the sleep of several centuries. Only a few awakened at the call of the Lord's messenger, who approached you to announce that I was calling at the doors of your hearts. 12. My first communication was verified one night while humanity was sleeping, just as it was when I became man to dwell among you. If few were the ones who received me on that occasion, fewer still were those who accompanied me in my new manifestation. But do not think that I am accusing you with my words, for that is not so. I am the perfect love who eternally offers you life. 13. I have come to trace the way for you which shall lead you to your salvation amid this broad sea of wickedness. But the months, and even the years, have passed since the moment of my first communication. Since then, one by one, travelers have approached in search of the presence of the Master. Today, there are not just a few who are present in my manifestations. Now they form multitudes. 15. Yes, my children, you would be right to ask me for proofs if your immaturity were real and your ignorance certain. But you possess an evolved spirit which does not need material proof in order to believe. What you should do is to dematerialize yourselves, and then you will find out that you are capable of understanding my new lessons, and that it is not necessary that I materialize my presence. 16. Believe in me through the essence of my word. It is clear and will not lead you to confusion. Remember that I have told you since that time. The tree is recognized by its fruits. Now I say to you, my word will be recognized by its essence. 17. Many times men have asked themselves why Jesus, even after having been crucified, allowed himself to be seen by Magdalene, the sinner, and later why he visited his disciples. On the other hand, it is not known if he visited his mother. To which I say to you that it was not necessary that I manifest myself before Mary in the same manner that I did with them. For the communication between Christ and Mary was constant since before the world. 18. Through Jesus I manifested myself to humanity in order to save sinners. And I allowed myself to be seen by them after the crucifixion to revive the faith of those who needed me. But verily I say unto you, Mary, my sweet mother, while I was a man, did not have a blemish to cleanse, nor could she lack in faith, for she knew who Christ was even before offering him her maternal womb. 19. It was not necessary that I materialize my spirit to visit Mary, who returned me to the kingdom with that same purity and humility with which she received me in her womb. But who can know the form in which I spoke to her in her solitude and the divine caress with which my spirit embraced her? 20. Thus, I answer those who have presented me with this question and who often thought that the first visit of Jesus should have been made to his mother. 21. How different the form in which I manifested myself to Mary from that which I used to make myself felt by Magdalene and my disciples. 22. Mary felt me in her spirit. Mary did not go into mourning for me. She did not weep over the death of Jesus. Her pain was for all humanity, a humanity who was entrusted to her by her Son at the foot of the cross as a divine gift from the Eternal One. Mary offered the pureness of her body and her blood so that the Word might become man. 23. On the other hand, when I came across some of my disciples on the road to Emmaus, on seeing me they did not recognize me until they heard my divine word. And when Thomas saw me, he made me show him the wound on my side in order to become convinced that the one whom he believed to be dead, in reality lived. For I have come for that reason, to instill faith in some and resurrect it in others. 24. Today, I have not only wanted to reveal my message to you, but I have come also to teach you the best form in which to have it become known. 25. During the time of my preaching, I have helped your spirits in their evolution, taking away your weaknesses and making you gentle. I am awakening my disciples so that they might give their hearts over to charity in fulfillment of my commandment, which I so often repeated to you when I would tell you, love one another. Although the time for you to arise and spread my word has not yet come, since you have not achieved the necessary preparation, I have allowed all who are drinking from this fountain of health, morality, and life to begin to practice my divine teachings in order to prepare themselves. They need to strengthen themselves for the future battle, so that with their good deeds they will convert other individuals, who later will also be workers and new sowers on the lands of the Lord. 26. Today, I observe that while some of you sin from being fearful and cautious, others, on the other hand, appear to be boastful. I do not want you to reach either of these extremes. I do not want the fear of judgment from your fellow men to lead you to hide yourselves, for you would thus be showing that you lack confidence in my teaching. If you do not have faith in the power contained in the seed which you are going to deliver, what will be the harvest of your sowing? 27. Certainly, do fear that your bad conduct will affect you before your brothers. Therefore, keep your life pure, rise up with dignity, and preach my word, having my teaching become known by your fellow men. 28. Do not be boastful with your gifts and with the knowledge of the truth which you possess. I say unto you, if you were to do that, you would be exposing yourselves and would be submitted to great tests by your brothers. 29. I have not delivered my word to you to have you preach it in the streets and parks. It is true that Jesus did so, but he knew how to answer any question and put to the test those who tried to test him. 30. You are small and weak. For that reason, you should not challenge the wrath of your brothers. Do not try to attract attention. Believe that you have nothing in particular. Neither try to show humanity that everyone is wrong and only you know the truth. For in that way you will gain nothing good from your sowing. 31. If you want to evolve spiritually and morally, do not judge the defects of your brothers. In order to not fall into the same error, correct your imperfections. Pray humbly before your master so that you might inspire yourselves in his humility. And remember his advice that you never publicize your good works, that your left hand never become aware of what the right might have done. 32. I also say unto you, it is not necessary that you go out in search of multitudes to tell them about my doctrine. For my charity will place in your path those who are in need of your help. But if there are moments while fulfilling my law in which you might feel the need to do a charitable act, and you have no one in need around you, do not on that account despair or doubt my word. That will be the precise moment in which you should pray for your absent brothers, those who will receive my charity if you truly have faith. 33. Do not strive to know more than your brothers. Know that all of you acquire knowledge according to your evolution. If I were to grant you my light without you have achieved merits, you would glorify yourselves and become lost in your vanity, and your knowledge would be false. 34. I want you humble, but in order to be humble before me, you should also manifest humility before your fellow men. 35. Disciples, love and knowledge are never separated. One is part of the other. How can there be those who presume to separate these two virtues? Both are keys which open the doors of the sanctuary, which will allow you to fully understand my doctrine. 36. I have asked you, do you want to have many friends? Then use kindness, tenderness, tolerance, and compassion. For only with the help of these virtues, which are direct expressions of love, will your spirit be able to shine on the path of your fellow men. For the Spirit carries love in its most intimate essence, since the Spirit is a divine spark, and God is love. 37. I come to mold you spiritually with my teaching, with the purpose of having you attend the spiritual banquet, where you will be able to savor the nourishment of knowledge and of perfect love. 38. Know that your destiny is to live as I have taught you, that is to say, in humility, in love, and in spirituality, allowing you to practice an abundance of charity. 39. In my teaching I show you a wide horizon, and if you live your lives similar to how I lived mine, you can be assured that you will come to my kingdom to attain true rest. 40. My work assures you eternal happiness in your spirits. Have you not heard a sweet and harmonious voice in your heart which speaks to you every time that you do a good deed, that you offer comfort, or that you extend forgiveness generously? Who is the one who speaks thus inside of you, rewarding your kindness? It is your Master who does not separate from his disciples. 41. With these lessons you are to understand that only virtues can adorn your spirits. I also say to you that you can compare errors, faults, and bad feelings to the rags with which you sometimes cover your spirits. I want you pure and adorned, for you cannot shine in the universal palace of your Father with rags of misery. 42. Good deeds are the crystalline waters with which spirits are cleansed. Use them. 43. I speak to you in this way so that you might understand that you are outside of your kingdom, and that you must return to it, for God is awaiting you. 44. I want to make of each man an apostle, and of each apostle a teacher, for I love you with infinite love. 45. In your hearts you are saying to me, Master, do you love us that much? And I say to you that you still cannot understand my love, but that it should suffice you to know that each child who returns to God is a treasure who returns to the Father. 46. O beloved disciples, prepare yourselves so that with intense faith you might yearn to come to the true temple built inside of you by my charity. There you will find me to accompany you in your evolutionary path toward me. 47. It is I who guide you, because I am perfect. I always know where I go and where I take you. I am the good shepherd who looks after you, caresses you, and loves you so much that I did not hesitate for one instant to give you with my sacrifice on the cross the teaching which will lead you to the true life. 48. Men believed that by taking the life of Jesus they would destroy my doctrine, without knowing that in so doing they would contribute to my glorification. 49. I have returned to humanity and will manifest myself in these houses of prayer until 1950 through humble spokesmen destined by me for this mission. In this form of communication I will await the arrival of the wise who will come to interrogate me and to deny me. 50. This word, simple and humble in its form but profound in its meaning, will once again confuse the wise in their pride and their vanity and show them that one cannot extinguish the doctrine of Christ, the Savior, for he is the light. 51. No one can destroy me. I am reborn in the same manner that I resurrected in the second era after the people had rejected me and condemned me to a humiliating death. If I now appear again in this world, it is because I love all of you. 52. O scholars, philosophers, and doctors, you shall know that I am your Lord when you come to scrutinize me. You will see me answering your bad and ill-intended questions and become silent before my questioning. When I find you a pedant and with your heads bowed low, I will give you proofs without your asking me for them. These proofs shall be of love and of forgiveness. 53. I am the only one who can resolve your conflicts. The one who truly cures your illnesses, caresses children, and blesses the old. The one who while speaking to man caresses and enlightens his spirit. Men and centuries shall pass away, but not my Marian Trinitarian spiritualist work. Verily I say to you, this work, which is my law and my doctrine, shall enlighten humanity. Do not doubt my wisdom nor challenge my justice any longer. If I were to accept your challenge, one weak blow of my elements would suffice to have me convert your science and your theories into dust or into nothingness. Do not seek me as a judge, but rather as a father, for I am love. 54. O beloved people, who have the mission of spreading my word among humanity, a humanity hardened today by its materialism, learn to love, and always have compassion for those who do not understand my lessons of infinite love. 55. Close your lips to gossip, ridicule, judgment, and criticism. Put down that two-edged sword which wounds when you use it. If you want to fight in my name, take up the sword of love. 56. Close your lips so that they will not again utter words of insult nor cause dishonor. Instead, open up your eyes so that you might discover evil and depart from it. Do not judge humanity, for you are a part of it and suffer from its same defects. When your lips and your hearts are washed in the waters of repentance and good deeds, they will begin to speak with the truth of my word, which I will inspire in you. 57. If you were to talk about my doctrine without first having regenerated and prepared yourselves, instead of awakening faith in people's hearts, you would only receive the ridicule of those who are aware of your faults. On the other hand, if their ridicule and criticism come to your hearts after you have watched and prayed, you will not be wounded because you have already protected yourselves with the weapons which I gave to you, which are patience, charity, humility, and love. 58. Be humble, and those who love you will do so in truth. If you have not reached this spiritual and material preparation, it would be better for you not to rise and preach my word, for you will not be able to sow my seed with the same purity with which I delivered it to you, and it will always go forth mixed with your imperfections. Before sowing, you should first analyze and study my doctrine, so that you might come to understand and obey my teaching. 59. When you know how to receive the blow on your right cheek, and as a sign of forgiveness, love, and humility, you offer your left one to your offender, then truly you are beginning to be my disciples. When forgiveness appears among men, wars between brothers will cease, and union among all nations will come forth. 60. With these teachings I want to keep you from someday distorting the truth, because, while speaking of love, charity, and spirituality, you would fail to confirm those things with your deeds. I say this to you, for among you there are those who go around proclaiming that they love me, but in their hearts there is no love for their brothers. 61. I want you to be sincere spiritually and materially so that I can call you my worthy children. Otherwise, my unyielding voice shall come to your spirits calling you hypocrites, as during the second time I called the sect of the Pharisees, who were the living image of a tomb, whitewashed on the outside, polished and covered with flowers, but holding only corruption and death in its interior. 62. I am listening to those who say to me, Master, we understand that the test of having to show our left cheek to the one who hurt our right one is very hard, but nevertheless, we would like to be your disciples. 63. O people, who listening to my word always interpret it in its material meaning without stopping to understand it in its spiritual meaning, I say to you that just as you can be touched on your cheeks, you can also be touched in your hearts, that part of you which is moral. You can also be touched in your spirits. But you must not believe that this test which I ask of you is the greatest one which you are able to tolerate. In this third time I have come to ask a little more of you when I ask you in my teachings. If the assassin of your earthly father were to find himself persecuted by human justice and called at your door asking you for protection, Would you offer him shelter in a gesture of pardon without denouncing him? 64. That is the proof I ask of all of those who want to be the disciples of the Holy Spirit in this third era. 65. If you put these teachings into practice, truly I say to you that you will be cultivating a reward for yourselves. But you should not expect your reward while you are still in this world. I advise you once again not to judge the deeds of your brothers, for according to your judgment, so shall your sentence be. Leave the cause to me, just or unjust, known or unknown, and I will give to your brothers that which belongs to them, and to you that which corresponds to you. 66. Be humble in all the acts of your life. Consider yourselves ignorant before the wisdom of your fellow men. 67. Blessed is the one who prepares himself, for he shall truly hear me. Blessed is the one who purifies himself and obeys the commandments of his Lord, for he shall see me. Blessed are the poor of spirit, for in them is the kingdom of heaven. My peace be with you.